Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, December 16th. How's everyone doing? Good morning, Sterling. Morning, Jake. Top of the morning to you, McRangers. Well, now I feel like we skipped Christmas and we're already going for St. Patty's Day. Good morning, Ted. Good morning, John. Good morning, Heinrich. Good morning, Richard. I thought it was Irish too. Good morning, Royal Palms. How is everyone doing today? Oh boy, excuse me one second. Sorry about that. All right, we are here getting mid-December already. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Jacob. So, what do we have going on? This is a busy week, mid-December, week before Christmas week. Hello, Charles. And there's no rest. No rest in sight. Today is sort of restful. We got the Empire State Manufacturing Index that came out. Prior was, remember, it jumped huge to 3120, and then there's consensus was 12. It coming in at point 0.2, which is so we were, I think, in contraction. Yeah, let's look at the little graph here. Look at this. We were in a contraction for a long time. 1 month positive, we feel like in contraction, then a huge bump up, and now we're nearing back contraction again. Everything's insane. Say hi to you, Charles. Hey, Charles. So, numbers are all over the place. That's not going to really affect the markets today. Stuff really starts getting interesting tomorrow. So far, what else? We have the S&P Global Composite Manufacturing and Services, and then the 3 and 6 month bill auctions. But tomorrow kicks off with retail sales, some housing info, industrial production. So, but really, retail sales is going to be interesting, and these are for November. Remember, a lot with Black Friday, Cyber Month, which was really Black Month of November because Black Friday deals were pretty much all month. So let's see how these come out with retail sales tomorrow. Then Wednesday, you have the Fed still projected to be a cut, and based off Nick Timoros's tweet a little bit ago, it looks like they are going to cut, but it probably won't be a unanimous decision. And then they'll give guidance that they're going to pause because the market expects it. You don't want to shock who's in charge? The Fed's not in charge. Come on. If you're just saying they're not looking at data, then the data they're looking at is what the market expects. Good morning, Anissa. No news this morning. Sorry, I got wrapped up in battling a moron who thinks it's okay to go around murdering CEOs of insurance companies who deny claims because they may put more loving CEO in his place. Okay, so you're having a philosophical discussion. Can we look at where true support is on, what is that, TSLL? Yeah, I'm sure we can. You'll have to remind me. Thursday, after the most likely Fed rate cut, we have the GDP numbers, continuous claims, initial claims in the GDP numbers, and the Kansas City Fed, but most important, the GDP numbers. And then we have the Friday, the PCE numbers, expected. Core PCE expected to come in a little high. Course of PCE 2.8 year over year is what's 2.9, so it's expected to jump up. So the Fed cutting again in projections of probably PCE still rising on the core basis, falling on the headline and rising on the core. So we'll have to see how that plays out. So far this morning, let's just do a quick little refresh here. You have Broadcom still running. Broadcom, Micron also up 3%. You have Amazon, Tesla, Google, and Meta all running. So you got your mega caps that have been grinding this market higher. Again, the unstoppable Mag 7. You got comm services, technology, industrials. Let me just refresh this too. Yep, still comm services with Meta and Google just launching stuff into the stratosphere. CME, see, you still got 93% for the rate cut on Wednesday. Fear and greed still in neutral. Why is it still in neutral with the prices still at their peak? Because the new 52-week highs versus lows is looking to even break down further than a key base formed in November, and stock price breadth. This is a very narrow rally. So Schiller PE 38.54. That's where we sit. In terms of earnings, nothing this morning. Nothing really after the close. Nothing really tomorrow. General Mills on Wednesday. Micron, which is already running today, ahead of earnings after the close. Lennar, from a home builder perspective. Then there's no time to rest because Thursday after the close, we got FedEx, which is really a barometer of how shipping's doing and how's freight doing for this, and can be with their guidance based off of what they've seen from the holiday season. We got Nike, but it's not a big week for earnings. It's really the all the reports and what the Fed's going to do. So we have still the potential double top. Now, if this rotates back up above the 75% retracement, it would be off the table. So if it rotates back up above 6,093, it's off the table. All right. Really, I'm paying attention to Friday's high and low. Very key for me this morning. Friday's high and low. Friday's high coming in about 60.85. Friday's low coming in 60.41. Those are the key levels I'll be going bar. And then if we break down below Friday's low and follow through to the close below 60.39.75, it would technically trigger a double. Although at this point it looks like it's going to turn into more of a channel, a little pullback channel, little pop higher. We got daily cycles at the bottom. So we're still holding the rotation zone. We still have sideways correction so far because we haven't triggered a pullback correction, sideways correction. We'll be watching for the rotation up. When at new highs, do you use fib extension as designed from bottom to top to pull back? I use, for example, let's just redo this one. So this one hasn't been hit yet. So we're going from the bottom to the top and then projected from the top. And then I do the 12.5 and 25. So, all right, that's where it sits. So if we're going to go to this next little one, I want to leave this line on here still, but like my little reverse harmonics from the double went from the bottom to the top again. So it's click down here and 2 clicks on the reverse high, if that makes any sense. But today I'm paying attention to Friday's high and low in the S&P. In the NASDAQ, which is already taken out technically the high, if we run up, it's again 21,936. And then the next major level isn't at 22,338. But let's just come back here and see on this projection where it gives us. So above that prior level, sorry, I can't even talk, above 21,936. The next key level I would be watching would be 21,999. So 22,000 on a break, a strong break above Friday's high. Very key support coming in about 21,775 to 21,800. If we did break below that, the rising rotation zones sitting back at 21,630. The Dow cycles at the bottom. We'll be paying attention to Friday's high. If we did close above it, it could be on a little more of a bounce play because that would be a percent beat buy. So I'm definitely paying attention to Friday's high in the Dow, and I'm paying attention again Friday's low, which came off right to the 62.5 harmonic, and we are in the bounce zone. Now, if this rolls over and we close below the 62.5, then it will be going into sell the rally zone. Russell, you can also pay attention to Friday's high and low in that. But Friday's low bouncing off the 50 EMA, but low with the Russell already closing below the 62.5. So I'm in rollover mode in the Russell on any rallies. That doesn't mean we won't have rallies. It means I'm watching for the rollover plays now in the Russell more strongly. VIX, just a little above 14, but no real fear in the market. The DAX so far sideways correction. Pay attention to the low from Tuesday, December 10th in the DAX. Holding again the rotation zone right now, but if you're a DAX trader, pay attention to that in case it starts breaking down and turns into a pullback. Still burning off overbought conditions with a sideways correction, stalled out at the harmonic. The notes looking to possibly bounce here a little bit, but Friday closed below the 62.5. So we'll be watching for rollover plays now in the notes. The yield after closing above the 62.5 and hitting the 75, we had 4407 as a 75. The high was 4407. So that technically puts it in potential double top territory. Not expecting this to trigger, but it's interesting that that is now in potential double top territory. So unless something completely unravels, and in a sense, inflation still on the rise, not expecting that to trigger either, but it will be watching for pullback and then rotation back up plays in the notes also. So I want to just put on the little reverse harmonics on here too. So if this does eventually take out the highs from a mid-November, your next major cluster would be about 4.6. That would be the next key target area. Are still using roll numbers or December. I'm still on, for the S&P, I'm still on the December contract through tomorrow. We roll tomorrow. All right. Let's get some peace and quiet here. I already banned him. He just got banned. I don't need this on a Monday morning. I'm just trying to help people. You know what? So that's where that sits. What else do we have? Nothing to talk about with the yield curve. Dollar index still have that double top triggered. That double top triggered. So we pulled back a little today, a little on Friday, but still expected the dollar to keep climbing. That's where the probabilities lie. With about 107 being the first target, 107.25 and 107.52. Going to really be paying attention to that second target, though, higher. Crude, trading against very key resistance with daily cycles back at a top. So from a short-term perspective, we'll be looking for potential sell setups. Maybe we get into double top territory here. That will be interesting because it's still range bound in here. The only thing that would shift that is if now we get above 72 on a closing basis and then start running, but it then has to fall through above 73.50 to get above the 62.5. Natty gas. Yes. You can see NASDAQ it's going to roll this week. The NASDAQ, I mean, you can roll. A lot of people roll when the volume starts exceeding. It's probably going to be right around there tomorrow. So TradingView shows you roughly when the roll will be. They're going to roll tomorrow for the continuous contract. So we're going to roll it since we do the analysis here on the continuous contract. We're going to do that also. Gold, pulling back to this channel. Going to be watching for key support here. To see if it makes another move higher, but there's no fantastic setups. We might be looking at a percent B buy tomorrow if this doesn't change much. You can see the percent B buy level is below, so I'll be watching today's high tomorrow. Not much to talk about on silver after completing the double and pulling back. Copper, we have this double top still playing out, this little double top. That triggered and has hit the first target so far, so the stop is reduced. The technical farthest away it would be above 4.273. I don't think they need it. They're just going to keep pumping Tesla. Tesla's become insane again. It's just going to keep running till it doesn't. And I mean, I don't know what's going to stop it at this point. It seems like there are pumps all the time. So it's just don't try to short the thing. And I would not establish a lot of new longs up here either, unless you're day trading. So that's where it sits with copper. The yen climbing. Remember, we've closed above the 62.5, so the next magnet price is 154. Here you go. Well, technically a 4-hour close above it. The daily did not. I misspoke. But it looks like today is going to close above it. So 154.71 to 155.72 are the next key prices. And then, especially if it gets above this 154.71, then we get in potential double top territory. So that gives a great little area to trail. Oh, I just banned him. He ticked me off today. I don't need it. I might unban him again before this thing is. Yes, Tesla is breaking out from all-time highs. Hey, dark screen. Euro, still watching for rollover plays in this, although it really needs to get the close below 104.43 before it gets more aggressive to the downside. But since the dollar has triggered that double bottom, that's what I'm watching for there. Bitcoin, new breakout to new highs and hitting the harmonic. Little pause there, the harmonic at 106.211. But nothing else to talk about there. Now getting to daily cycle tops again. And also, we're at weekly cycle tops. So, with some divergences forming up here. So I definitely know where, if you're trading Bitcoin from the long side in the short term, I know where your trailing stops are. Spiders, we still have the potential double there. Same thing as the futures. I'm paying attention to Friday's highs and lows. If the spiders trade back above, let's get the numbers in here. If they trade back above 607.34, then the potential double is off the table. The Qs. Looks like we're going to gap up 532.97. So the next level is 533.47. And then, hold on one second. Let me just take off some of these, the little minor ones. And then we have 533.47. And then the next projection off the most recent swing would give us about 535.13. So that's where we sit right now. All right, Tesla. Again, the keys based off the harmonics we have, because I'm doing the reverse harmonics from the lows back in January 23 to the prior all-time highs in November 21. We have 450 and then 492. Those are the targets based off the harmonics. Okay, and this is technically 453.58, so 453 area looking to gap up to 440. What is this thing valued at now on a P to E? 114. Oh boy. Nvidia not doing much. Nvidia is really losing its momentum, but really paying attention to the day before Thanksgiving's low, which we retested that area back on Friday. If that breaks down, I'm going to be watching for this to probably reconnect with the 200. What else? We got Meta, by the way, looking to run, continuing to run. 650 is the next target there. Let's get to TSLL. Tesla. You want the Tesla to double. Oh, boy. Well, here. Again, use your reverse harmonics. And it's already hit that, so 33.85. So we already just checked that off with the reverse harmonics, because it looks like it's going to gap up there right now. You don't have a decent pausing bar. So that's where I'd have to use until you get a decent pausing bar. We can go down to the 4 hour and use the most recent swing here. The most recent swing here. So you have the cluster right there, then 3610. That's the best we can do with projections right now. You want to know TSL true support? I'd use the minor support level is 31. The major support level is 28. I don't even look at Sony. I don't even remember. Is Sony a monthly double bottom, or is it too choppy? Well, let's take a look. No, don't even bother with that. Just look, if you're trading Sony, watch, let's see. So last week it closed above the 62.5. So Sony could continue to high, and I'd use these targets the upside. 23.15, 24.95, and your very key support is back at 20 with the rising rotation zone and the prior breakout zone. So that's how I'd structure anything from Sony. You see here, closed right at that, finally broke through, launched last week off of that key level. And then we look at the daily. So again, on the daily, I'd be watching any pullbacks in the rotation zone. What else? You got Micron's earnings. Remember, we still have a confirmed double that's officially triggered. Now, this has gone a whole lot of nowhere. But if it does do something the upside, your targets are still 124, first key target, if it beats on earnings. And the market likes the price action. Does TSM have a weekly double top? I mean, this is technically one side of the double, so yes, it is. That is still technically a weekly double top. We don't know if it's going to make a new right-hand high, so at this point, I'd be using the left-hand targets until we know the right-hand high is in. But yes, if that rolled over, that's very key low. So that's a very key level, because look at the rotation zone also right there. So I'd be paying attention to the low of 178.05. And it's topped out against a very significant harmonic cluster. But this may never trigger. So, but that very good question, MJ. Thank you. What else? Time to look at XLV. XLV. The only thing that would put me bullish in the short term is if we triggered this little mini double on the weekly basis. On the daily, you can see it there too. That's the only thing. I mean, there might be like some percent B buys, but they would be short-term bounces unless it triggered the double. And why would I need the double triggered? Because right now we got the rolling over rotation zone. We just bounced into it, rolled over. We are in a very key support area, but that's the only thing that will get me bullish besides bounce plays. Other than that, if we close below 136.48, I'm really going to start kissing that goodbye in the short term. But for me, I'd still be watching for rollover plays. So any bounces, I'd be looking to turn into rollover plays unless we did trigger that double. XBI. there's not much to talk about because we still have the whole bunch of gone nowhere monthly double bottom. So, but this is not looking very strong. XBI. It's not looking incredibly strong. So my key level would be watching to see if we close back below 90. If you close back below 90, I'd sort of be watching for this potentially retest these lows because it has not been able to go anywhere. You're welcome, Eric. When do I think market will have a correction? Boy, I'm prepared for one. There's no patterns that show that yet. I am prepared for one, but it's going to take probably something out of the blue to trigger it. Probably something out of the blue because everything is still just grinding higher. So again, I wouldn't short this with Coco's money because it needs to. At some point, we're going to get some kind of pullback reaction. Then the bounce is going to tell us a lot. But is there a strong pattern to lean on? No, the only minor pattern is this minor double bottom, which could just be for a literally pullback to just below 6,000 if it were to trigger. Other than that, nothing. So that's where we sit with that. You're welcome, Richard. If you keep tuning in, Mohammed, when we have a more significant topping pattern, then I will let you know. We just don't have it yet. So, and even any pullback move could be constructing a topping pattern, but there isn't a bigger one yet. I haven't looked how quickly the .com pullback took. The whole overall whole move for the .com, it took, I mean, you look here, look how little it looks now. The overall on a monthly basis, the peak was in March and it didn't finish until October of 2002. So roughly 18 months from top to bottom it took to fully play out. So keep that in mind too once we do get into pullback. But, you know, we don't even have a big downdraft bar yet like we did going back in the NASDAQ. So here's your weekly. I mean, the weekly, once we had a nice little top pattern here. So once it got below this 42.20, it was starting to kiss it goodbye, and then it gave some opportunities to trade against key resistance before it really rolled over. So this was the initial warning shot. We had the secondary reaction, and then it rolled over. Remember, 62.5 right here. And look what it couldn't close. Your first rollover, second rollover, could not get a weekly close above the 62.5 and then kissed it goodbye. Not saying the markets have to do the same thing this time, but that's the thing I'll be watching on secondary reactions when we get there. Until that, we do not have we don't have a topping pattern yet. All right. So, look at XLV for a talk. Yeah, look, hold on. That didn't, again, this didn't make it double. Again, some of these spiders are a little noisier. It did eke out a close just above the 62.5, but then rolled over and kissed it goodbye. And then lower highs, lower lows. So, if Fed cut 20, gold is still in a more medium-term corrective. That's why, you had the little bullish move. Yeah, we could still run and channel, but gold's still in a corrective pattern. And gold will probably be in a corrective pattern until the beginning of January. Can see here, so we could get a bounce play if they cut because of inflation against this key thing. That's why we're going to be watching tomorrow for the percent beat buy potentially above today's high. All right, I got to run. Let's just see how this market opened. Let's just take a quick look. Huh. So the only thing going into the open, we do have a little mini double top pattern. That is not triggered yet. And a very flat tick opening. Very flat tick opening. So, oops. So I'm going to be looking at watching that a little mini double top to see if that does trigger. Other than that, I will talk to everyone tomorrow. Remember, retail sales tomorrow morning. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.